Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a terrific day ahead of you. In today's version of team selection, there is a lot to discuss. Firstly and foremost, the benching dilemmas, and hence who starts for me. Secondly, transfer plans, not for game week 2, but actually for game week 3, as there's someone I really like the look of. And thirdly, captaincy. In a week where there are so many options, Salah, Palmer, Watkins, Haaland, Saka, Gyökeres. I even had to stop myself saying Isak. Who's the best choice and why? All things that we will come on to. You may also notice some new audio settings, and I'm sure you'll either like it or really dislike it. I think it's a lot better, so let me know in the comments. And equally, if you have any technical expertise, I would love to hear in the comments how I can make this just a little bit better, at least. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. And without anything else really needing to be said, hop into it. Enjoy. A question many of you will have is, should you start Martin Dubravka or the number one for your side in game week 1, whether that be Sanchez or Sells or Kelleher? And if you are to be a Matt Sells owner, then I would be starting him. And I'll discuss why I also think you should start Sanchez over Martin Dubravka should you own the pair. For me, Sells plays a team that gives him the opportunity to hit that high ceiling that he has, right? They have enough quality with Mateta, with Sarr, with Munoz, with Adam Wharton to generate at least half chances against Forest, right? Because Forest are going to certainly employ a game plan, which is certainly on the more defensive side compared to what other managers would do with the quality they have in their side. And they'll look to leverage the threat in transition. They'll look to hit you on the counter and score through those methods. But you could certainly envisage Palace having a decent amount of the ball and then, taking shots from these half chances, maybe less, maybe these long range pops, all of which increase Sells' ceiling. Then you look at the quality of Nottingham Forest, and their defense is one of the best in the league. They have some brilliant defensive players. I mean, their pivots got a lot stronger just due to the addition of Elliot Anderson last year and how he's performing now. You've got Milenkovic, you've got Murillo, maybe at times or after 60 minutes, they'll opt for a back 3 structure with Morata coming in, and they'll just be really difficult to break down. They've got the players, they have the philosophy from the manager, and structurally, they're very sound. But scoring against them is not easy, as Brentford found out, aside from the penalty, of course. And when you combine that with a high ceiling, and the fact that I think the mood in the Palace camp will be a little bit down. Obviously, they've just lost their best attacker. Maybe he's the first domino to fall, and then Gahey and Adam Wharton follow suit, whether it be this window in the next or in the next summer. And they've got a game on Thursday, so they'll be a little bit more leggy than Nottingham Forest. All of this points to the fact that I think Sells is actually a very solid option for this week. And yeah, maybe the fixture isn't as good as Brentford at home, but it certainly provides a higher ceiling, which is always welcome. And then for Dubravka, I wouldn't be surprised if Burnley turn out to be a bottom 2 defense in the league. And Sunderland at the moment really don't look like a bottom 2 attack. I mean, yeah, you can say, okay, they beat a poor West Ham side, but I don't think this was a fluke. I think they genuinely just have a lot of quality in Isidore, Mayenda, Xhaka, Adringa, Lefe, if that's how you pronounce it. And if it's not, I apologize. So for all of these reasons, I think that Sunderland are going to score. And I'm fairly convinced of that fact. I haven't really swayed on this at all. And as such, I'm going with Sells. And also, how could I pass up the opportunity to say Sells supremacy after what has been such a long time? On screen, you will see how my defense will very likely line up for game week 2. But when I was initially making the slides, this is not what was on my screen and not what was going to be on yours. The benching dilemmas at the time were so close that I actually left 5 players to the side. I didn't even have a full 11 on the pitch. And I was going to talk through them and basically just say, come Friday night, I will have a decision. But as the time went on, I gained a little bit more clarity. And I'm quite confident that this is what I will settle on, barring anything that's said in the press conferences, which sway my decision. You've seen Aït-Nouri, that's who's first on the bench. I mean, he just come off a 9-pointer, did very well defensively 1v1, against a Spurs side who actually don't carry so much transitional threat, and against a Spurs side who, with this system, you could envisage an Aït-Nouri role, which is certainly more attacking than that against Wolves. There's a big prospect there, potentially, right? And I'm benching him, which we're going to come on to. And then Esteve, follows a very similar line of thinking to Martin Dubravka. I just think that Sunderland are going to score. And if I think they're going to score, I don't really have an interest in playing my defender. Williams, again, you can follow a similar line to Sells, except instead of saves, there's DEFCON, and there's also the attacking threat. With his crosses, I really wouldn't be surprised if Chris Wood gets on the end of one of them, or Morgan Gibbs-White, or Enjoy, and you see Alice, you see Forrest score a goal like that. Moving on to the other two, Cucurella is the easiest pick in this backline. He has the best fixture outside of Esteve, and his attacking threat is ridiculous considering the role he plays. Every single game that he plays in this role, he's going to have a good chance to get an attack and return, even against Palace. In such a dire performance from us going forward, he still had a great chance to get an assist should Andre Santos have put it away. High clean sheet probabilities. Easy pick. Perkins is one that may interest you as to why I'm so certain that I'm gonna play him. At the end of the day, even with Liverpool's issues in transition defensively, they're still one of the best defensive teams in the league. Perkins in this type of game, when I think Alanga would just go at him, has a really decent chance for DEFCON. And if they have to absorb a bit of pressure, I wouldn't be surprised to see Liverpool boot it out quite a bit in that period. So I could see him getting some defensive contributions from that, or at least some actions which lead to the defensive contribution points. And in general, his mental profile is very, very, very aggressive. He loves a duel. He loves diving in. And yeah, this probably isn't great for yellow cards, but it's certainly good for DEFCON. And then he's got some attacking upside as well, right? So I feel very comfortable playing him in this fixture. The outcome will be whatever it will be, but in terms of decision, I'm very happy with it. So why is Aït-Nouri on the bench? Even with Spurs' lack of transitional threat, I still don't think, from what I observed against Wolves, that City are this really solid defense. Wolves only really had one avenue of attacks, and that was being very direct, very vertical. And when they weren't, when it was slower, they couldn't really hurt City. But I think Thomas Frank is a good enough coach to manufacture situations for his side where they can actually pin City a little bit and then utilize their quality on the ball in comparison to Wolves to break that City block down. And whilst in transition, Spurs don't have an abundance of quality. They do have Sarr's carrying power. They do have Kudus' carrying power, especially centrally. Outside of that, they don't have too much. But City aren't great defensively in transition either, right? If you can get Ruben Diaz isolated at some point, 1v1, you can certainly go at him. And if for whatever poor structural reason he's in the channel, then you can definitely have a go at him there. If you're relying on Bernardo Silva to cover a lot of ground, you can get them there. Nico Gonzalez at the base is good, but that's probably exploitable as well. And then Aït-Nouri, maybe as well, right? So there's enough there, and they have enough quality, and Thomas Frank's a good enough coach, like I said, whereby I still think they could put one past them. They have a great record at this ground. Thomas Frank is a coach that Guardiola has complimented a lot. He's complimented him a lot for the fact that he's always got a solution against a variety of different setups. That just being one reason, right? So against Cities, I expect that Spurs will still make some chances. I'm quite excited about how Dominic Solanke will fare against the City centre-backs. I think he could actually have quite a good day. And so it will certainly be interesting. But for now, I think Spurs score, and I'm going to bench him as such. After more thought, it is becoming increasingly likely that I fall on my sword and admit I was wrong about Donyell Malen. For this game week, he's almost definitely going to be benched for me. Whether he should or shouldn't start is one thing, but I don't think Unai Emery is going to start him against Brentford, especially from what I've read and the type of activity Villa want to do in the transfer market. And I don't really want to take this risk this week, and I don't think I need to. If he does get benched, then I will depart ship and essentially just say, okay, I got it wrong and move on. If he does start, then obviously he could be a good option going down the line. But for this week, I'm not so confident. And as such, I'm going to bench him. And obviously he's in the third spot. So that shows you how confident or unconfident I am in his expected minutes. In his place will come Josh King. And he's someone who at 4.5 million could be quite literally the steal in the game. I watched parts of his performance against Brighton. Really impressive. You asked pretty much any Fulham fan what they thought. Really impressive. I went and watched some clips back of him when he was younger. Really impressive. And talking about really impressive, that is exactly what Marco Silva said on him in his post-match press conference after the Brighton game. And with his comments and how he said that he doesn't care that he's 18, he could be 35 if he's playing at this level, he's playing him. I think he's going to start Manchester United as well. I think he almost has to, because there's no Fulham attacker who brings the dynamism that he does. And United, whilst having a very good performance, or at least a good performance against Arsenal, defensively, you can still get at them. And with Josh King's quality, and he's so intelligent, I wouldn't be surprised to see him, one, get a goal, but he could definitely get me an assist with, or a haul. I wouldn't be surprised with how intelligent he is. So, like I said, look, if I'm wrong about Daniel Marlin, then I'm wrong, and I'll fall on my sword and like that. But for now, he's staying third on the bench, and I'm very happy to play Josh King. Looking at the other guys, I mean, Palmer and Salah, I don't really want to waste your time. Like, not going to play him. So that's it. We'll discuss them in captaincy, of course. Iliman Ndiaye is someone who probably is worth some discussion because that performance on Monday night from his team was very poor. Was very, very, very poor. Another thing I don't like is that when Grealish came on, he played on the right. Really didn't like the fact that he played on the right. I thought he could have easily played Alcaraz there and put Ndiaye in the middle. The one thing about Ndiaye is whenever he did get on the ball, he was the only one who ever made it look like something was going to happen. He beat a man. He made it very difficult for the opposition to get the ball off him. He showcased how good his dribbling ability is. I'm hoping that he plays him in that 10 role against Brighton. And if he does, because I'm assuming Grealish starts, and if he starts, he's going to start on the left, most likely, right? If he doesn't, then by the time we come to Game Week 3, this is definitely a spot where I will be considering making a transfer. For now, though, with penalties and with the quality he's got, and the fact he's at home at the new stadium, I feel like I've got to give him Game Week 2. I know some people are interested in selling, but I think you've got to give it one more week with the upside to holding the transfer in mind as well. If you're tired of overthinking decisions, if you're tired of not following through in your gut and not backing yourself when it comes to decisions, or thinking that you just don't know enough and you just don't have enough knowledge to go for this decision that you really want to go for, then consider joining my community, because within it, not only will you be surrounded by successful managers that you can see on screen, but as all the testimonials show, there's some brilliant people in there as well. And the people in there, including myself, will all help you to stop overthinking, go with your gut a little bit more, and will provide as much knowledge as you need to go for a particular decision. However out there it is, we can discuss it, we can go through it and see if it's actually the right one for you. So if that sounds interesting to you, and you can finally beat that friend in your mini league, you can finally crack an overall rank that you've always wanted to, then consider clicking the link below. That will take you to the website and sign up. I would absolutely love to have you. Two assets who are certainly going nowhere are João Pedro and Chris Wood. Chris Wood following his brace against Crystal Palace. Why would I sell him? And João Pedro because, one, I think it's a very inefficient use of a transfer to use it on a player who's got an abundance of quality, has one of the best fixtures this game week for the biggest sides, and still has a good floor and high ceiling to his game, right? So when you put them all together, that's one reason. That's why I'm not selling him. Dominic Solanke's interesting because I did toy with the idea of moving him into Evan Nilsson. Still like his prospects too much as Thomas Frank's striker, and I really liked his cameo against Burnley as well. So for now, he's staying. It's just very much a case of, does he start for myself, or is he going to be on the bench? If it so happens that with Thomas Frank's press conference, it looks like Richarlison will start, albeit there are some rumours of him leaving, so I guess that plays into my hands a little bit more. But on the assumption that it looks like he's going to start, he'll be starting for my side ahead of Aït-Nouri, and if not, then I'll probably just reverse that as opposed to starting Marlon ahead of Solanke. He will almost definitely be on penalties. And like I said, I thought he looked sharp against Burnley when he came on. I think he can cause City centre-back problems. I really do. For that reason, I kind of have to start him, right? Like, I don't have too much else of a choice. Like, I don't want to start Marlon because I think he's going to be bench. I don't want to start Esteve because I think Sunderland are going to score. And then it's just him between Aït-Nouri. And like I said, I think Spurs get a goal. Going back to João Pedro, I know some people are looking at selling him. He's obviously already had like 300,000 transfers out. Not too many from engaged managers, but nonetheless, I think you've got to give him West Ham, right? You have to give him West Ham, even if it's just for the strategy reasons. But he's also got really good prospects this week with that fixture, or at least they're good, right? We'll sell us at they're good, and then see, right? And if you know what, if we fail game week 2 in this fixture, I think there's massive cause for concern amongst FPL managers, and I think it makes a lot of sense to at least consider selling one, if not both of these guys. I'd actually be maybe more inclined to sell Palmer if it were to go wrong this week. So that's where I'm at, but the forwards is probably the simplest of the category once I explain the defense. Even with all the options available to people, and even with the split that you're currently seeing, I still expect Mohamed Salah to be the most popular option, and he's mine, right? I've got the captaincy armband on him. So why don't I have it on Cole Palmer? Well, obviously you've seen the analysis, or you may have seen the analysis in Everything You Need yesterday or today, depending on when you're watching. But the thing that I can't shake with the Palmer captaincy, and so I'm not going there, is that I don't completely trust us to 100% put in a really good performance. It could happen. We could blow him away 6-0. I won't be one bit surprised. We could also just really struggle again. I don't think we'll really struggle, but we may struggle to an extent. And the other thing is, with us, with how he's being platformed at the moment, I'm not 100% sure that even if we do score 3 goals, it's necessarily him that scores one. I mean, he hasn't scored an open play goal since January, and that's not due to the quality of player. Obviously, he has to take some responsibility, but I'd say it's more so to how he's being platformed. And with that in mind, I'm not trying to time the bottom, essentially. I'm not trying to say, all right, this is the fixture where the trend's going to reverse and it's finally going to go good for Palm. He could put up a massive haul, and I wouldn't be one bit surprised. And if he does, I will enjoy my Chelsea win, and I'll enjoy the rank gain from him not being 100% EO. Actually, he might be. He actually might be this game week, but at least I'll enjoy the Chelsea win. But with Salah, I don't really have that concern. Obviously, like I said, there's all that analysis in EYN that I'm using as well to help with this decision. But I don't feel scared at all going with him. I don't feel nervous about the fact, is he going to get an opportunity? Like, I do think at some point he'll have an opportunity, whether that's to score or assist, and he's probably going to have more than one. And I trust him to get it. And I trust Liverpool to platform him well enough in the game. Trust Arne Slot to do that. I trust his teammates to provide for him, even with the right-hand side dynamics not being optimized and there being no trend. I got enough faith in Mo Salah to get it done. So he'll be my captain. Like I said yesterday, St. James's Park just kept replaying in my head this week. Then a friend actually said it to me as well. I was like, yeah, I probably got to go here. If there's one option I'm looking at and looking to use my transfers in a way whereby I can get him, and I'm willing to sacrifice in some areas to get him, it's for the man you see above me on screen, Matthias Cunha. He just looks so good. He is so good. Great debut, hence why I said he looks so good. The ceiling's so high. The fixtures are there. I mean, Burnley in 3, City in 4, not even the tiniest bit worried, right? Like, Arsenal are definitely a better defence than City, and look what he did to them. Arsenal are a better defence than us, and look what he did to them, right? So in 5. And then you've got Brentford and Sunderland, which are certainly attractive fixtures on paper. At 8 million, with the upside, even the floor, right? In those, if you take those 5 games and put the floor together, it's just so high. Like, he's going to score goals. It's almost inevitable that he's going to get at least 1 in those 5. And when he does, he'll probably hit bonus as well, right? That'll cover quite a bit. So for me, I've got to find a way to get him for Game Week 3. Now, what is the route? Well, one route is by upgrading Iliman and Jai. So I need to find 1.5. Well, would I do that? Well, there's 3 spots, really. 1, I could sell one of my 6 million defenders. Okay, so again, I'll need 2 free transfers. I'll have to stay open to that. But I really don't want to do that. I'd have to sell one of my forwards. But again, I really don't want to do that. I mean, Solanke's prospects long-term, I love. Chris Wood seems unsellable at the moment. João Pedro, maybe, but I don't want to back into one of those 6 million forwards because I don't like them so much. Which means the only other option that's left is Cole Palmer. And you know what? If we fail against West Ham, which I don't think we will, I actually think he's going to return and we'll be okay. I'll have to consider it, right? Because even like Marlon, if I wanted to sell him, well, I can only get 0.9 for him. And that's not enough. I need 1.5, right? So I'm far off the mark there. So the only realistic route I see is selling Cole Palmer. And the other good thing about that is if I did do that, not only would I get Cunha, but I would basically get any mid of my choice, right? So the squad would certainly be strengthened. I'd probably have some cash in the bank as well, to then go and do a future Daniel Marlin upgrade. So this is what I'm really eyeing up for Game Week 3. It's just selling Palmer is not my preference, right? I'd rather be able to have him and Cunha and Salah all together. Now, one idea I just thought about is if I were to sell one of the forwards, right? I get 3. Let's say went down to a 4.5 or maybe even a 5 if the Sunderland boys are priced there. And I use that money to it'd have to be to a 4.5. And I use that money to upgrade Marlon, right? And I was comfortable every single week either playing 4-4-2 or playing Josh King in a 3-5-2. Then that could be a route to me keeping Palmer and having Cunha. But like I said, I don't also quite like my forward, so I don't really want to sell him. I'll have to make a sacrifice somewhere though if I want him, and that's certainly something that will be on the menu. And if not him, I like Bournemouth a lot, but their fixtures aren't super easy after Wolves, right? Like Newcastle could be a bit tough, so could Brighton. So I want to see how they get on against Wolves, and I would want a strong performance like I got from Manchester City, putting them away to show me that it's translatable against a better opposition. And the two you'd be looking at is Evan Nilsson, 7 million. What value, especially if he's on penalties with Clive out, albeit I think he'll be better when Clive's there, as he'll be a better side. And then Semenya, right? I mean, 7.1 now for that guy in that form could be really good. So that's what I'm considering for Game Week 3. And for all of these, I'll need 2 frees, hence, apart from the Evan Nilsson one. Hence why I'm certainly looking to save. And I quite like Josh King this game week. I'm very comfortable playing him. And Solanke versus Aït-Nouri, as long as I don't overestimate Solanke's expected minutes, I'll have a starter there as well because I've got Aït-Nouri on the bench. That is all she wrote for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. Consider checking out my website, consider reading some of the testimonials, and consider signing up because, like I said, I would love to have you. In the meantime, between now and solving your problems, I hope you have a terrific day. And until then, goodbye.